We start off your home half of the fifth inning with Matt Hardy coming up to the plate as your score is 5-2, an advantage of the Bishop Verot Vikings. Here's a swing and a miss for a strike one. Certainly was a very rough top half of the fifth for the Riverdale Raiders. Bases were juiced for the Bishop Verot Vikings, and eventually it was an error out the left field that led to Trevor Kramer, Blaze Alexander, and Michael Ritchie all coming home to score off of a hit from Nico Pedigorski, who would then take second base. A little bit of a slight delay there after that first pitch to Hardy. Home plate umpire adjusting his mask a little bit, puts it back on, and looks like we're ready for action, as we also have a new pitcher on the mound for the Vikings. It's number 9, Mike Lemmerman. Lemmerman swinging the ball off the left hand, and he's throwing violent to start things off. This came close to Hardy, but he dodges his way out of it for a ball. Very nice wind-up and a very solid delivery. Yeah, he is whipping that ball home at a very quick rate as it misses low. 2-1 now to Hardy. So the Raiders, they have a little bit of work to do here if they want to get back into this one. It's the bottom of the fifth. And then after this inning, Raiders have 2 more tries to hopefully tie up this ball game. Another swing is missed by Hardy. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the next delivery from Lemmerman is a pop-up down first base. That's hanging towards the first base line, and it's going to barely knock foul. So, nice save there by Matt Hardy. Foul down first base into shallow outfield. You had Devin White and Gunnar Bird try to chase after that ball out there, but no one could come up with it. Mike Lemmerman on the mound. He is the 3rd pitcher of the ball game for the Vikings. His next deal. It's another pop-up, a little more shallow on the infield dirt, and it's a sealed deal from Devin White on first base as he makes the catch. And as a result, Matt Hardy is going to be out with an F3.
Next batter, number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Daniel Kaler will be your next batter with 1 out at the bottom of the 5th. Raiders trailing 5-2. Opening pitch to Kaler is going to be a wild pitch there for a ball. Tonight's matchup represents part 1 of a 2-game homestand for the Raiders. Game 2 will take place this Monday, February 22nd, as Kaler will shop the next one foul to the backstop. Once again, Game 2 on Monday, February 22nd, when the Port Charlotte Pirates come to town. Remember that for each and every home game, first pitch takes place at 7 p.m., weather permitting. That's at the varsity level. If you ever want to check out any of our JV Raider baseball games, those begin at 4 p.m. at Pringle Field for every home game. Kaler is going to ground out the first base meanwhile, as he cannot beat out the tag.
Number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
That time, Devin White scooped up the bouncer. Had a little bit of a foot race there with Kaler to the bag, but White is able to win it and get out number 2 as Tinsley is up next. And right now, I will tell you, Mike Lemmerman, once again, throwing pretty close here, off to his right side, where most of the Raider batters are standing. And it's 2-0 as 2 pitches are low for Tinsley. So the Raiders versus the Port Charlotte Pirates once again on Monday. If you can't make it out to the game, of course, we will have a audio broadcast for you right on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network, as Tinsley will smack the next one foul down left field. Another one on the way from Lemmerman, and it is going to be a ball. Deflecting off of the strike plate. 3-1 now for Tinsley. Let's take a look at how teams are doing in the Class 7A District 11 standings for the Raiders. They're in a little bit of a tough situation because, including Riverdale, they have 8 total teams in Class 7A 11. Tinsley connects another one and drives it foul. Well, the Gulf Coast Sharks, Palmetto Ridge Bears, and Naples Golden Eagles, they're all tied up for the first place spot with a 2-0 record. Tinsley, short liner to the second baseman, bobbled, throw to first, and he is out. And we will continue talking about Class 7A 11 standings and the Bishop Verot standings right after this break. 5 complete has been played, and it's 5-2. Bishop Verot in the lead.
For the Vikings, number 11, Bryce Glasgow.
Bryce Glasgow will be your batter as we enter your top of inning number 6. Your score is 5-2. Bishop Verot leads over the Riverdale Raiders. New pitcher on the mound for the Raiders, who unleashes a ball 1 to start things off. That new pitcher is going to be number 13, Trent Clark. Taking over for the starter, number 14, Carson Palmquist. Clark will start off the batter, Glasgow, with a 2-0 count. The next one will sneak its way in from the sides for a strike. Well, like we were mentioning before the break, we were talking about the Class 7A District 11 standings, 8 teams total. 3 teams tied up for the first place spot early on here in the season. Now strike 2. That was the Gulf Coast Sharks, the Palmetto Ridge Bears, and the Naples Golden Eagles all tied up with a 2-0 record. 4th are the Lehigh Lightning 1-0. Estero Wildcats are 1-1 sitting in the 5th spot. The 1-2 Riverdale Raiders are 6th. 7th, it's the winless East Lee County Jaguars. And the South Fort Myers Wolfpack 0-3 are last as Clark got him looking.
Next batter for the Vikings, number 8, Carson Smith.
Carson Smith will be your next batter for Bishop Verot. Takes a check swing and that gets by for a strike 1. Bishop Verot, they come into this evening's contest representing Class 4A District 5, which consists of 4 total teams, compared to the Raiders' 8 teams, and Class 7A 11. Wild pitch to the backstop will make it a ball 1, now 1-1. Just a bit outside, as we like to say. The first place team is the Sarasota Cardinal Mooney Cougars, who currently hold a 3-1 overall record. Another strike comes by and another check swing. The Oasis Sharks are 2nd and 1-1 to start the season. The 2-3 Gateway Charter Griffins sit in 3rd place, while the Vikings of Bishop Verot sit at the bottom with an 0-2 record on the season thus far. It's high out to right field. 3 men going after it, and it is bobbled. That's an F9 in the scorebooks. And coming on first is number 8, Carson Smith. Bobbling the ball there was Colton Seitz, who just couldn't get his hand on it.
Running out first base for the Vikings, number 20, Jack Archibald. Batting next for the Vikings, number 9, Mike Lemmerman.
Jack Archambault is going to be your pinch runner over on first base for Bishop Verot. Mike Lemmerman will be your batter. 1 out and 1 on here at the top of the 6th. Bishop Verot up by 3 runs, hoping to extend that further. And your pitcher, Trent Clark, will nail through a strike 1 to start off Lemmerman. Nice night of baseball here from Pringle Field. What a night it has been. It's been very great to see Bishop Verot come out. Once again, the team that went all the way last season to the 4A championship game last season. Check over the first base, but the runner is back in time. Carson Smith coming up with a dive. Sending the ball home is Trent Clark, and that's a strike 2. We are currently in your second to last inning of play. Keep in mind, high school baseball games consist of 7 total innings. If we have a tied-up ball game, we will go to extras. But Bishop Verot can keep up the pressure with the hot bats, and I think they won't have a problem getting the win. And here's a throw to first. Terrible throw way out, and that runner goes over the second base. Carson Smith takes advantage, advancing to second. It was a throw over the first where Colin Azevedo was standing. Took an odd hop off his glove, I believe it was, and just spilled down the right field line. That gave Carson Smith more than enough running time. Just took his jog over the second. The pitch knocked down first for another foul ball. Coming from Mike Lemmerman. So he continues with his 0-2 count. Looks like Carson Smith was trying to take off the third base there originally, but he'll make his way back as a result of the foul ball. The next one on the way. Swing and a miss. And that'll come up with out number 2. It's a forwards K for Mike Lemmerman. Your next batter will be number 3, Gunnar Bird. Gunnar Bird setting up, ready to go. So runner on second with 2 outs. Bishop Verot hoping that Bird is the word as a strike 1 is through. Nice little pun there. We went all night without a little pun, so we finally broke through here in your 6th inning. Up in the press box. Carson Smith on second. And time is being called as Bird is taking a few swings to himself. Clark fires home. Out the right field in the line drive. Bounces down. And the runner on third is going to be held back. So Bishop Verot will have the runners around the corner. Carson Smith held at third. And that's Gunnar Bird with the base hit. Out the right field off the line drive.
Batting next for Bishop Verot, number 2, Trevor Kramer.
Trevor Kramer will be your next batter.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Nope.
Nope, we're all good.
Okay, so a little bit of a conversation there, a little bit of a stoppage. We've had a few of those small pauses throughout the course of the game where the infield communicates with each other. I was just trying to see what that's all about, but either way, we're back into it, and there's a ball one. 1-0 makes it 2-0 with a pitch low. Or 1-1, excuse me. Getting a little ahead of myself there. Another close pitch down low, but that ties up the count either way. Very slow-moving ball game as we head into your final moments. Hack and a miss. Throw to third, and that runner is going to be back in time. Very violent chop and a miss there from Gunnar Bird. Makes it 1-2. Your count. Carson Smith on third. He's been there for quite some time now. Chucks it home, and he got him with the swing and a miss. Runner stranded on first. But either way, your score stays the same. After 5.5, it's 5-2. Bishop Verot on top.
Bottom of the sixth inning for your Raiders. Number 10, Colton Seitz.
Colton Seitz enters onto the playing field. Onto your bottom of the sixth we go. 5-2 is your score. Bishop Verot on top. Takes a pitch up for a ball one. 5-2 once again is your score. Bishop Verot. This is the second to last time that the Raiders have with the bats if they want to tie this up. Down by 3. This is close, and it bounces down on top of the dugout. Foul. 1-1. Players had a little bit of a heads-up moment. They tried to catch that one. One of the players, I didn't see who it was, he had to take off his cap there. Tried to make the nice snag. Smacks it high to center field. And that is gloved up just like that. For the out. Trevor Kramer. Out in center. Just finding it right away. And producing the out.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 7, Tyler Prell.
Tyler Prell is up next. Some more pitching action in the bullpen down the right field line for the Raiders. Tyler Prell is set to go with a ball one. Well, you can really tell that baseball is back here in Southwest Florida. Of course, you have high school baseball just getting into the swing of things now with a strike one. We also have spring training baseball in Fort Myers coming up. It is just around the corner. That's always a great thing to hear and say as well. It's the time of the year also when the tourists start really coming down to Fort Myers and other areas of Southwest Florida. Pitch low makes it 2-1. And of course, a big reason for that tourism, none other than spring training baseball. Low and away makes the count 3-1 for the batter, Tyler Prell. Fort Myers is a proud spring training home of both the Boston Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. And although the spring training schedule may not start until March, that doesn't mean the players will be making their way down for a training. Here's Prell taking the walk to first off the 3-1 deal.
Who do you put in blue?
Some more confusion here. Looks like a home plate umpire, I see what he was doing now. He was looking at one of his lineups. Looks like you have a courtesy runner over on first base. Here's Matisse Bober, meanwhile, at the plate. So, courtesy runner over on first base for the Raiders.
Batting for the Raiders, number 8, Matisse Bober.
Matisse Bober is up on the way to the plate with a man on first and 1 out at the bottom of the 6th. And oh my goodness, that came up towards his head. Very close pitch. Bober ducks down to avoid it to make the count 2-0. 5-2, Bishop Verot on top over the Riverdale Raiders. The further the game goes on, the more slower it seems to get. But right now, the Raiders just can't seem to really get a lot going on in regards of scoring territory. Smacks it back to the backstop. Joel Velez is going to track that ball down from the Raider dugout. It looks like now he is currently in the batter's box, so, or pardon me, the on-deck circle, so maybe in just a moment we'll see Joel Velez come up to the plate. Here's a ball to make the count 3-1 to Bober. Bober looking patient, 3-1. That would have been outside, but he hits it off the short end of the bat, and now we have a full count. Joel Velez coming up in just moments once again. That'll be his first at-bat of this ball game. Payoff. The Bober out to right field. That looks high up in the sky. Doesn't get too far in the outfield. Out and right, and the catch is made for another out. Out number 2. As Mike Lemmerman, I believe that is. No. The right fielder makes the catch. We'll explain that in just a moment.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 5, Joel Velez.
So that's Joel Velez coming up to the plate once again with 2 outs. A little bit of confusion on the starting roster. We had Mike Lemmerman out in right field, but once he became the pitcher, of course you have a little bit of a change out there in the field. So that always comes up with a little bit of confusion, but right fielder able to get up under that one and make the catch for out number 2. One more out to go until we head to your 7th inning, and Joel Velez starts 2-0. Once again, his first at-bat of the ball game. Takes a strike 1 at the knees. Takes a nice, healthy swing at that one, but it was too early. Tie up the count at all 2s. Les hoping he can keep the inning alive. Can he do it right here? Yes, he can with the pitch low. Joel Velez, he's wearing some very nice cleats. That's one thing he was very excited about prior to the season, is ordering his new cleats. It looks like they have a nice gold shade to them. I've seen them up close before, and I'll tell you right now, they look very nice. As this is a check over to the first base runner. On bag number 1, I should say, it's number 39 running the bases. Smacked out to center field. It's going to be caught for the out. And that's caught by the center fielder. We head into inning number 7. Raiders still down by 3.
And through 6 complete. 7th inning for the Vikings, number 21, Blaze Alexander.
Blaze Alexander making his way up to the plate as we head into your 7th and final inning of play. New pitcher on the mound for the Raiders. It's going to be number 4, Hunter Tinsley. Previously, he played third base in this ball game. 1-0. Has a nice whip off the right arm. And that's a ball 2. Blaze Alexander, great game for him. He's contributed greatly in this game with a pair of runs. 2-0. Now advanced to a 3-ball no strike count. And Tinsley right off the draw having a tough time finding the plate. Can you get the 4-pitch walk? No, there's the strike one. Great game between Riverdale and Bishop Verot once again. The Vikings up by 3 points, coming to an end very quickly anyhow. As there's a strike two, now a full count off of a foul ball to the backstop. Keep in mind, here at Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School, we will see you again on Monday, February 22nd, when the Raiders take on the visiting Port Charlotte Pirates. And this is a bobbling ball coming out in a base hit as it travels its way out to left center field. And Blaze Alexander finds himself on once again.
Your next Viking batter, number 5, Mike Ritchie.
Mike Ritchie is up next. Mike Ritchie, he is another great player overall. I would say just about everybody contributed greatly to the Vikings tonight when it comes to putting them up on the scoreboard. They really have outdone the Raiders in this ball game. Tinsley, way high up. Prell jumping to his feet for the ball. So we will see you on Monday night one more time at 7 p.m. That'll be game 2 of this 2-game homestand before the Raiders go on the road. So join us for some action against the Port Charlotte Pirates this Monday. 1-1 is currently the count. A little while ago during the broadcast, certainly a lot has happened, but we were talking about how spring training baseball is just up and around the corner, and we'll get back to that after this. Swing and a miss to make the count 1-2 for Tinsley. Up on the mound. Well, the Boston Red Sox pitchers and catchers will report to JetBlue Park in Fort Myers on February 18th. That is the day after tomorrow. Meanwhile, Minnesota Twins pitchers and catchers report to Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers on February 22nd. Time on the mound right now. Tinsley looking all around. And he steps back on. 1-2 coming on the way to Ritchie here. Throw to first. Azevedo had to leap up to keep that ball from going crazy. But the runner is back in time. Blaze Alexander on first. And like we mentioned earlier, Fort Myers is home to 2 spring training teams, both the Red Sox and the Minnesota Twins. Now a meeting on the mound between Prell and Tinsley. As your count advances at 2 balls and 2 strikes, no outs here at the top of the 7th. Bishop Verot trying to add some insurance runs as they run by... Boy, I am all kinds of tied up here. They lead by 3 points. There we go. And we are ready to go. Well, anyways, I had the great privilege of visiting JetBlue Park last spring training season. Really is a great atmosphere for a ball game. In fact, it's a near replica of Fenway Park in Boston, where the Red Sox play their regular season games. 2-2, check swing, and it's low. They're saying that Alexander did not go around, so as a result we have a full count. Hammond Stadium, also a great place to go witness a ball game. Major League or minor league, they're both great ballparks. And there's a reason that thousands show up every ball game to see some baseball action in Southwest Florida. Another check over to Blaze Alexander on first. Not taking a big lead off at all. Not threatening to steal. Bobbled at third. Colton Seitz can't scoop it. Can't even deliver the throw over the first. And now Bishop Verot has 2 runners on. And that's an error on the third baseman Colton Seitz.
Next batter for the Vikings, number 10, Charlie Hoyt.
Charlie Hoyton is going to be your next batter. 2 on and none out. Hopefully, maybe some of those tourists coming down will be able to check out some high school baseball, because without a doubt, we have some very talented ball clubs in the area. And of course, we have some of it right here in this ball game. Raiders, they have some great potential. I really can't wait to see how they progress throughout the regular season. Bishop Verot went to the 4A championships last year. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Canterbury made it to the state series last year as well. Riverdale faced off against Canterbury last week in the preseason game as well, which the Canterbury Cougars won by a 5-4 final score in a rain-shortened ball game that lasted 6.5 innings. Threatening the bunt. Throw the first, and no, it's over the head, and here's the runner coming to score. It's number 21, Blaze Alexander, with run number 3 on the ball game for him. My goodness. Blaze Alexander with 3 runs makes the score 6-2, an advantage of the Bishop Verot Vikings.
Now running at third base for the Vikings, number 7, Alex Irwin.
Alex Irwin will take over on third base, while that batter, number 10, for Bishop Verot, he laid down the bunt right down the middle. Prell scooped it up and threw to first, but it went over
Next
the head.
For the Vikings, number 15, Devin White.
It went over the head of Brendan McNabb over on first base, and that gave enough time for Alexander to score. Here's another one inside for a strike. Devin White, meanwhile, steps in tall. We're on your 7th and final inning of play. Bishop Verot now up by 4 as the scoreboard reads 6-2. Hunter Tinsley not having a very good appearance on the mound right now. Struggling to get outs. Still no outs here at the top of the 7th. It's chipped out to right field. Fly ball, and that bounces right down at the gate towards the bullpen benches down in right field, where the Raiders warm up their hurlers on the mound. 1-2. Now to the batter, Devin White. Very quiet right now here at Pringle Field. Fans still staying along here for some Raider baseball on the Riverdale fan section. Once again, our fans here, they love the game of baseball, and that's why this atmosphere is so great here at Riverdale High School. Now 2-2. To White. Runners around the corner. The nod from Tinsley, and it's a ball. Up and away. Well, right now, Bishop Verot, they're having a good time. Up by 4 points. They have a runner 90 feet away. And if he can score, that'll put up Bishop Verot by 5 points. Raiders just cannot catch a break at this point in the ball game. Tinsley throws the first to Colin Azevedo, but nothing will go there as the runner is back. Number 10 over on first base for Bishop Verot. And that's a strike, and he is going to run out as he strikes out looking. It's Devin White going down.
Next batter for Bishop Verot, number 11, Bryce Glasgow.
Bryce Glasgow is now up at the plate here. And the good luck just keeps on coming here for the Vikings. The windup from Tinsley tries to lay down the bunt. Prell to second base. Runner, he is out. Very nice. Daniel Kaler covered the second base bag and tagged out number 10 there. And that's a little bit of relief for the Raiders defense, as that's now out number 2. Raiders still being downed by 4 anyhow. That's a ball one to the edges. Thank you for tuning in to us on the Riverdale Raiders broadcast network for tonight's game. We understand it's been a very long one anyhow, but we appreciate you for sticking with us. And we'd like to thank all of those who support Raider baseball. Whether you're a new fan or a regular supporter throughout the years, we thank you for supporting Raider baseball. As it pitches low and away, the 2-1 is, my goodness, spanked out to right field. That is down at the warning track. Bishop Verot up by 5. As that runner is going to score from third base, that's number 7. This is at least a triple, and they're going to hold him up there. Glasgow comes up with a triple as he gave that ball a ride all the way to the wall in right center field. Now there's a chat on the mound once again. Prell coming up. He's been there plenty of times throughout this game.
Batting next for the Vikings, number 8, Carson Smith.
Carson Smith on the way up. Raiders with 2 outs. 1 runner on third. As the pitch hits the corners for the ball 1 to Smith. All throughout the night, Bishop Verot, they've really made it look like batting practice. They have some great accuracy there. And the batter's box, this is a hack and a miss for a strike. But it really is great for the Raiders to get in a ball game with a great talented team like this. And you have to be proud of the Raiders for how they've held in against them throughout the majority of this ball game. This gets off the tip of the bat. It's now 1-2 the count as a result of the foul ball. Swing and a miss. Prell scoops it. Fires the first, and there it is. They retire the sides. 3 outs away from the end of this ball game.
Bishop Verot puts 2 more on
Bishop Verot puts 2 more on
the board.
the board. Raiders trail by 5.
7th inning for your Raiders. Number 3, Colin Azevedo.
Colin Azevedo is now up on his way. Plenty of at-bats throughout the night, and we head into the bottom of the 7th. It's been a long, long game where Bishop Verot leads 7-2. It's time for the Raiders to put on their rally caps as it's bunted down the first base side by Azevedo. Foul. Finally down to our final 3 outs here. Bishop Verot at the top half of the inning. They tried to do whatever they could to put up some extra insurance runs, and that proved successful as they put up another pair on the board. Spikes low for a ball. Now 1-1 to Azevedo. Raiders down by 5, but we've seen them come back from some crazy deficits at the home half of the 7th, so you can never say never. Crazy things can happen in the game of baseball, and that's what many people love about the game as well. Up on the mound still for Bishop Verot is number 9, Mike Lemmerman. Michael Ritchie, the catcher, getting off the mound after a quick chat with him. Well, the thing that people love about the game of baseball is just the fact you don't have a time clock, so you can't hold on to the ball and run out the clock. In the game of baseball, you have to work until you get those final 3 outs. Definitely a lot of skill in the game of baseball, and Azevedo showing a lot of skills as he takes a walk to first. This could be a sign of good things to come for the Raiders. This looks like Brendan McNabb coming up.
Batting next for your Raiders, number 6, Brendan McNabb.
Brendan McNabb up on the way. He's going to quickly get the business with the ball 1. Another one hits low for a ball 2. It's now 9:39 here in Southwest Florida, so getting over 2 hours and a half just about. Another one misses, 3-0. Another interesting thing about baseball is, once again, we talk about the game not having the time clock. You never know how long a game is going to last. It could be 3 hours, but we've also seen games end as short as an hour and a half. I remember that last year, Riverdale played versus Lehigh, game that ended in a mercy rule. Riverdale won 10-0, and here is a 4-pitch walk for Brendan McNabb. Now 2 runners on board. Number 9, Matt Hardy is up next. And there is a meeting on the mound. There is a coach on the mound for Bishop Verot, and they're going to talk this out. Looks like a conversation, but we're not too sure if the pitcher's going to stay or go.
JV will play tomorrow at Bishop Verot, game time at 6. Again, that is a JV-only contest tomorrow at Bishop Verot at 6 p.m.
So let's see. It looks like there's a new pitcher on the mound, possibly. Nice short break here. And this new pitcher is going to throw some warm-ups right now. I guess you could say this is a wise decision. It looks like number 3. If that's correct, that's Gunnar Bird.
Now pitching for the Vikings, number 3, Gunnar Bird.
I guess that was a wise decision there for Bishop Verot. I mean, Riverdale, they caught on to something. They started with getting men on second and first. And Bishop Verot just didn't want to risk getting anything out of control, so they're putting in that new pitcher, Gunnar Bird, up on the mound. And it's interesting to see how the Raiders' bats are going to adjust to this pitching change. So Matt Hardy's going to be your next batter for the Raiders, as he patiently waits this brief delay. He'll take some warm-up swings. So 2 on and none out for the Raiders here at the top of the 7th. It's 7-2, Bishop Verot on top. Raiders threatening to score in some runs, and that's the reason why Bishop Verot put in that new pitcher. Matt Hardy will be on his way. Raiders dugout trying to bring the energy. Bird with the pitch. It's up and high for the ball. It's sparked out to right field, and that's going to bounce down on top of the Raider dugout once again. This is another great thing about the Raider team, is that they're never giving up, no matter how ugly the scenario may be. They come into this down by 5 points, and here they are playing like this is the last game of the season, or if this were a playoff game and this is out the center field, and that is an out. Center fielder Trevor Kramer was able to get under that and make the grab.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 15, Daniel Kaler.
Daniel Kaler will be taking the bat, and here we go. Gunnar Bird, the pitcher on the mound once again, the new pitcher for Bishop Verot, able to produce that first out. Let's see if he can get past Kaler here. Throws in the ball 1-0. Takes the strike. That was another close one low. But here we are down to our final 2 outs. Raiders down by 5 with 2 runners on. So it really does remind me of, once again, that district championship game we had. Team was down by 7 runs. And they ended up coming all the way back just to fall 1 run short to lose to Fort Myers. And this is a ball carried out to right field, and it's caught for the out for an F9 in your scorebooks. And this very well may be your final batter, Hunter Tinsley.
Now batting for your Raiders, number 4, Hunter Tinsley.
Hunter Tinsley, very active in tonight's game. He's played third base. He pitched at the top of the 7th. Takes a healthy swing on an inside pitch, 0-1. Gunnar Bird hoping to end it right here, right now with 2 pitches. Any pitch can be the last. Another one misses to tie up the count. So it's 9:45 now. One of our lengthier ball games. Oh, look at that. Tinsley originally looked like he was going to call time. Bird was already in his windup, so he fires home. And it's wide to make the count 2-1. Bird sets and delivers. Tinsley tries to give that ball a ride, but misses. 2-2. 2s across the board here. Bird can end it right here if he can set it on the inside of the strike plate. Bird brings it to the plate and it's out. That's going to be now a full count for Tinsley. If the payoff misses here, then we will have a full count. That will bring up Colton Seitz, who is now on the on-deck circle. And now you're going to have Bird step off the mound. And here we go again. Sets up. Leg whip and fire. Outside. There's your ball. Bases loaded for the Raiders. And up comes Colton Seitz.
Next batter for your Raiders, number 10, Colton Seitz.
Colton Seitz, he struggled in tonight's ball game, but he was able to get on board once due to an error. And we're ready to go after a brief meeting on the mound. Here's the opening deal to Seitz, and it's up in the corners for your first ball. Bag bags are juiced for the first time tonight. This could be it. Out the right field. Outfielder tracks it, makes the catch, and that's going to do it for the end of tonight's ball game. In 7 innings, the Riverdale Raiders fall to the Bishop Verot Vikings by a 7-2 final score.
Bishop Verot 7,
To
Raiders 2.
wrap up your home opening game, we will remind you of the next varsity baseball game, which is going to take place on Monday, February 22nd, at home against the Port Charlotte Pirates, so be sure to join us. Tickets are $4 a piece. Be sure to join us. We thank you for supporting us on tonight's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in for another edition of Raider Baseball. Once again, that does it for us at Pringle Field on the campus of Riverdale High School in Fort Myers, Florida. Bishop Verot Vikings defeat the Riverdale Raiders 7-2 final score. This is Nick Rush, along with our public address announcer, saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday at the ball game. Have a good night, everyone.